Patriots, pirates, rebels, and outlaws. Glenn Beck is wrong. Now, I admire him. I listen to him. I appreciate the extensive research and the information that he provides. But his solution to the loss of our liberty frustrates me, to say the least. And while I believe we've got to educate ourselves, we've got to know what's going on. And if you're a religious person, you've got to pray. But simply knowing you are going to end up before a firing squad and in an unmarked grave is not going to stop it from happening. What's the point in knowing anything if there's no real action, no pushback? Platitudes are not going to save our republic or our liberty. He has continuously admonished his listeners throughout the years that taking up arms is never the answer. So I ask you, what is the point of defending the words of the Second Amendment if you vow never to exercise that right? If you proclaim before the tyrants that you will never defend yourself, what do they have to fear? A right you refuse to exercise may as well not exist. Glenn, more than any other media personality, has detailed the horrors of Marxism. We know its intolerance of dissent, its propensity for violence. The principles of nonviolent protest are noble, but they will only work on a government that has some respect for human rights. Gandhi, Martin Luther King, ultimately they were up against governments that had some basic sense of decency. They were not going to be lined up against a wall and shot. Nonviolent protest does not work against Marxist regimes. Look at the old Soviet Union, Nazi Germany, Communist China, North Korea. Dissent under Marxist regimes is eliminated with extreme violence. If the unabashed and committed socialists and Marxists really are taking over, and I believe they are, we must be physically and mentally prepared to resist. We cannot hamstring ourselves by taking our most potent option off the table. They are coming for our property. They will mandate limitations on our basic freedoms, assembly, worship, speech. They will persecute those who supported Trump or reject their agenda, and eventually they will start lining us up. Every Marxist regime has. Hyperbole? I don't want to find out. I will resist the lesser acts of tyranny in the hopes of preventing the worst. We have submitted to the lesser acts far too long. It is time to stop complying, and for that to be effective, non-compliance has to have teeth. It needs to be backed up with a determined resistance, and that means exercising our right to protect ourselves from theft and tyranny by any means necessary. And defending ourselves does not mean we all grab our guns and storm Washington, our state capital. Now, someday it may come to that, never take any option off the table. But our non-compliance will be much more effective in the short run by defending our homes, our towns, and our counties as a determined group of Americans. We take steps to put our property out of their reach. We ignore their dictates and resist any attempts to enforce them. We refuse to submit to the tyrant's unconstitutional and immoral acts and the unjust system that enforces it. We do this by organizing constitutional sanctuaries, creating our own gulches in our towns and counties, and even our states across this nation. In doing so, we will restore the founders' vision and fundamental principles of justice and liberty, where we can live a moral and effective way that will break the power of the totalitarian system that's trying to enslave us.